Imagine a world where our children could face illness after illness with potentially dire consequences, where illnesses like polio or measles still claimed thousands of young lives each year. For parents, that meant sleepless nights, hopelessness in watching our children struggle to breathe from whooping cough or lose mobility from polio. For many of us, that world is a distant memory, and that's all thanks to the power of vaccines. Vaccination is one of the greatest triumphs of modern medicine, not only preventing deadly diseases, but also enhancing the long-term health and prosperity of societies worldwide. Hello, my name is Emily, and I am a pediatric medical assistant. I work so closely with children and their families every day, and I have seen how vaccines give families peace of mind and also protect the children who depend on us most. I've also seen how quickly illness can spread when that protection is missing. So, today I want to talk to you about why vaccination truly matters and how it saves lives, protect communities through herd immunity, and strengthens global health overall. So, let's talk about how vaccines can save lives. Olson from the National Foundation of Infectious Diseases says that vaccines have eliminated polio in the U.S. and has drastically reduced illnesses like measles and whooping cough. And as someone who works in family practice clinic, I've seen the fear and anger on a parent's face when a child develops a preventable disease or illness. And these emotions come from parents who have both vaccinated or did not vaccinate their child. Although many people are scared of these adverse reactions that can happen when giving a vaccine, they happen so rarely, and the benefit far outweighs the risk of infection. Although many people are scared of things like these, immunizations can also help protect those who are not able to be vaccinated, such as immunocompromised people or people who don't or may not have the resources to protect themselves. Now, let's talk about our communities. Herd immunity. What is it, and why is it so important? By vaccinating our youth, we contribute to herd immunity, which protects those who cannot be vaccinated, such as infants and those with compromised immune systems. Ensuring high vaccination coverage creates a shield that stops the spread of contagious diseases. And this offers a special protection to the most vulnerable among us. Every vaccinated youth is not just protected themselves, but also serves as a barrier against outbreaks. And when a large number of people skip vaccines, it breaks this protective barrier and puts so many vulnerable people at risk, such as our children, our parents, or anyone who has a chronic illness. But beyond protecting just health, vaccines also help stabilize families and communities. All around the world, vaccines contribute to our global health and economic stability. And according to UNICEF, vaccines are the first line of defense against infectious diseases. They prepare our children's immune systems, and by doing so, it helps them to recognize and combat harmful pathogens, and also in many cases, before our youth even leave the house for the day. And that was it. In the age of globalization, where travel is frequent and swift, and vaccines ensure that diseases from distant countries do not take root in our communities, so keeping our youth healthy and thriving. The economic costs of vaccine-preventable diseases are often very understated. Medical expenses, combined with loss of income due to parental absence from work to care for sick children, and that can strain a household's finances so much, and not just their finances, their overall mental health. Communities see delays in economic progression as healthcare costs skyrocket. Vaccines represent a small investment with enormous returns, ensuring that young people grow into healthy, productive adults who contribute proactively to their economy. Health and education are so deeply interconnected. Frequent absence from school due to illness can have a significant impact on a child's educational experience and, of course, their academic success. Vaccines keep children healthy, and in school, allowing them to focus on their studies. It helps them gain knowledge and develop the skills they need to excel. And yet, despite overwhelming evidence of their benefits, vaccine hesitancy remains an enormous hurdle that every healthcare system is trying to get over. Disinformation and misinformation have fostered fear and skepticism. This hesitation puts our children's health at risk and threatens the progress we've made over decades. In my experience, when I hold a baby in the exam room preparing to give them their first vaccine, I know I'm not just preventing a disease. I am helping that child grow up healthy enough to take their first steps and go to school and live a full life, a life they don't have to worry about being at risk for highly contagious and deadly diseases. Every shot represents a future we get to protect and becomes a promise to protect the future generations as past generations did for us. So our call to action is pretty clear. We need to continue with the facts, educating our communities on the undeniable benefits of vaccines. We must build attitudes to trust in medical advancements, seeking advice from healthcare professionals and valuing their expertise and giving into what they know. And as parents or caregivers or people who are providing for our children, we must take this opportunity to give our children a chance to thrive. And vaccination is one of those opportunities. So it's time to recognize vaccines not just as an individual health choice, but as collective commitments to public health. Vaccines save lives. They build immunity that shields communities. And it promotes a stronger and more stable world. So by standing together, informed and united, we can ensure that our youth will live in a world not plagued by the diseases of the past. Our investment in vaccines today will pay forward in healthier, more vibrant generations ahead. So, let us advocate for widespread vaccination with confidence and protect our most valuable asset, our youth. And why wouldn't we? Why should we just not remember what I'm saying and just continue on with anti-vaccination? Well, think about it. How many kids around today have an issue with deadly diseases, in the US at least? How many kids do you see walking around with measles? Back in the day, like I said before, it's a huge, huge issue, and it caused so many people's lives. And today, it's all gone. With the amount of times that we've seen measles or polio or whooping cough, these are kind of gone. We don't see that anymore. And the reason is because of vaccines. So again, I'll say, let us advocate for widespread vaccination with confidence and protect our most valuable asset, our youth. Thank you so much.